guys, I hope you guys are doing well today. We've got a great matchup on our hands. It's going to be Mythic Reborn versus Bad News Bears. This is looking to be a good matchup. I can't wait to see who's going to be coming out on top. Anyways, I'm Degade, and I am joined today by Halo Flyer. How you doing today, man?
Howdy, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Really excited for this matchup today because honestly, we're getting a look into what should be the playoff picture for group. Oh man, Group A or B. It is Group B, East Conference, right? No, Group West Conference, of course. Switching things around because, of course, HLTV refers to them by letters and Esea refers to them by East and West. So we do have our map bands in, so we can kind of get an idea of how things are going to be looking for today's matchup. Mythic did pick Dust 2, which is understandable for reasons we'll talk about in a second. Inferno was Bad News Bears pick, which is going to be interesting because Mythic is on a bit of a nosedive on Inferno recently. They're on a 4-map losing streak on Inferno at the moment. And then we have Overpass for our decider. So now that we got that out of the way, set the notebook aside. If you haven't seen already on Twitter, Mythic will be playing with ZNF tonight as a stand-in. Now, this isn't too big of an issue, you'd say, with Mythic because, of course, they played with ZNF for a long time. And, the only reason that he doesn't play with them regularly is because of college. So, but as a part of that, Daff has actually retired from CSGO as of about a little under 40 minutes ago. He posted a tweet longer essentially saying that Daff just doesn't really enjoy CSGO anymore and will be just kind of withdrawing from Mythic. So it's a little unfortunate, especially considering, for only 3,600-ish hours, like, Daff was pretty cracked. But, this does put Mythic Reborn into a little bit of a weird situation. So we'll have to see how they come in and play. But, that's definitely why I think, that Dust 2 pick came out, especially considering, Mythic normally doesn't, their whole thing is that they don't really put in lots of dedicated hours for practice. So it's, especially then you swap out one of your young players who's been putting in a lot of, work for it, then, then you can begin to understand why we do have that Dust 2 pick coming out. But
also though, yeah, we're into the matchup. If you guys can't tell, it's 3-3 already. Trades going back and forth. Flom and ZNF, last man standing for Mythic Reborn. Looks like ZNF might have his head taken off right here. Will get away scot-free for the time being. It starts to push, finds one, nearly finds a second, but not able to find the head just yet. This is being, nicely done. Swisher and Spongy find one each to close out the round. Bad News Bears going to come out on top. The first round to their own. The pistol round is converted. They're going to be looking to buy up on their CT side. A good start so far.
Yeah, I'd say. I actually didn't even realize that we were rolling there, so I caught about the second half of that. But that is how it is when you do a couple of casts. But yeah, all right, so we'll see a little decent bit of a buy up from the CT side. The T's did get a bomb plant, so that they do have quite a bit of money to work with relatively for a second round, so they will be going for that second round buy up. And they do have at least one AK in the hands, but having these Galeels, this makes things a little bit dangerous.
It really does. This AK in the hand of Davey as well. Of course, that's a one-shot headshot if things work out nicely for Davey. If he can find the heads, things will end fairly promptly. Because, of course, they're stuck down on these FAMASs and MP9s. They do have an MP4, M4. That's in the hands of Swisher. He's going to be looking to do some extra work with that. But right now, it's going to be played out fairly patiently. Looks like these Mythic Reborn players are looking to head back towards the A site. They're going to find that first head. Man, Alter, your head is gone, and Flom is feeling it. And HE will come on out. His shots as well. Swisher going to be able to find one, but Davey does trade it back with the Molotov. Brings it down to a 3 versus 4. The man advantage is gained by the side of Mythic. And a tag from PTR will be good. Looking for more. Not able to find it just yet. Jonji starting to come as well. Finds some tags onto Davey. But no dice just yet. No frags to speak of into this retake. But Jonji's going to change that very promptly. Able to find one. And then Adren finds one as well. Spongy finds a trade. Now ZNF, last man standing, going to be dealt with. And the round goes the way of the Bad News Bears, picking up a second.
Yeah, all right. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I mean, it was just a little unfortunate with the way that Mythic kind of made that cat push. They got the swing out, you know, and they got the plant down, and they got, you know, that good, like, Flom good on the entry there, but of course, you know, they weren't really able to push back and hold on to that site, which is a little surprising considering what they had left. They seemed very, very aware that there could be, the, you know, the possibility of them being chased up cat. But in the end, you know, Bad News Bears wasn't really coming from that direction, so they just kind of got blindsided as most of BNB was sitting off to the side and just kind of shot him in the side of the head. So
yeah, but we're coming back into it now. Nice shots out of PTR. Will confirm the first one. Oh, PTR looking oh so good. Gonna find two. Alter finds one as well. Flom does trade it back, brings it down to a 1 versus 4, and it is swiftly ended. Switcher able to find one, and Alter finding the final. That's the third round for B and B. Things looking good. Mythic are going to finally have the full buy that they've been waiting for.
Well, Bed and Breakfast is my favorite Counter-Strike global offensive team, gotta say. I just love that acronym. It's just excellent. So we will see a full rifle round coming out here into the 4th. And not going to contest for some long control. We will see, and we should see an engagement here down. Oh, John G.
Oh, John G. Oh, John G. Oh, yes. Let's get it. A quick double spray down will confirm the first 2 kills. Davey gonna be looking to trade it back. Finds one on the Spongy, but a nade lands directly at his feet and tags him down to 8. Swisher now up on Cat. Will be able to find one. Finds it on to JoJo, and now last 2 men standing is Flom and Davey. Flom is dealt with. Now Davey in a 1 versus 3, 8 HP. Not much you can do. Will be dealt with by John G, and there we go. A 4th on the board for the Bad News Bears.
Well, I gotta say, it's kind of funny because Bad News Bears is like, all right, let's rat this round out. The second that they don't have that long presence, they just kind of like pushed into all the weirdest nooks and crannies and just were playing all sorts of just weird dust 2 angles that you see those in pugs, but it's it was a little weird and it worked really well. I'll give them that. So Mythic looking a little bit flustered, and they will be into a deco here, just a single scout in the hands of Adren. And John D will be looking to try and make his presence known over on the B site.
Oh, nice little shot coming out of PTR to start things off. Looking for another. Will be good for it. Adren dealt with, and it's brought down to a 3 versus 5, just like that. A snap of the fingers, and the Bad News Bears are proving to be bad news for Mythic here in round number 5 once again. Oh, John G. Okay, buddy. Looking
okay,
really
now
clean
they're
today.
kissing in the window. All right. There you go. Yeah, not much you can do here. Flom kind of stuck up mid. Same with JoJo. Able to return for 1 though. That'll take, you know, at least 1 rifle out of the hands of the CTs, but it's not a lot of damage. And they'll finish that up. Get it cleaned up. That'll be 5 in a row.
Yeah, there we go. Special funding. That final brings about the 5th, and now Mythic going to be looking to buy up once again. Flom and Co. haven't been really to get a foothold into this matchup just yet, but this is the time for them to do so. The Dren on that AWP, full utility coming out from that T side, but of course counter utility will be flying all around from Bad News Bears.
All right, contesting for this long control. Dren will have to back off. The Molotov is good, and that will push them off. So the CTs do have that long control, and they've been excellent so far. All 5 rounds, they've just been really fast, and PTR with a quick leg out on a JoJo, only taking, you know, about 30 damage in response, and Swisher will win that mid-battle.
Yeah, claiming 2 lives for his own. Brings it down to his 5 versus 3. The trade does come out. Flom able to find a nice little tap on the Spongy to open up the B site. And now Swisher going to have to try and make his way in there to try and return the fire as the bomb starts to head into that direction. PTR.
Yeah, just a second late there. Almost caught him on the pincher coming around from long, but Mythic will get the plant down.
Post plant's taken up in a bit of aggression coming out from ZNF. Going to be able to find one. The trade from Alter is swiftly coming out, though, and it's brought down to a 2 versus 3. The man advantage still there for B&B. And I don't know if they're actually going to go for it at this point.
No, I
Yeah,
think they
there
are.
we go. They got plenty of
Flashing
time. PTR coming on in. Flash finds a kill, and the shot from Adren will be good. But PTR cleans him up with a deagle. A 6th round looking to be on the board. Tentatively on the board. There we go. Going to be picked up by the side of Bad News Bears. Starting out with a 6-0 lead. A very decisive first 6 rounds, to be sure.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit dangerous because, you know, now Bad News Bears has the double op. They've got tons of bankroll to work with here. They've got so much money. And Mythic is just going to be kind of like pegging up against that loss bonus for these rounds and just trying to get something on the board. And they're going to run into a struggle the second they do get that first round, that they're going to be fighting up against that very same loss bonus. And Flom opening things out with a beautiful shot onto Janji off of mid.
Yeah, nice shot to be sure, these players. Now we're going to be looking to stall it out here. And PTR able to find one through the wall onto the head of a Dren. Able to convert and reclaim.
Things are tied up. PTR is still low, so theoretically the T side isn't in too tough of a position here. And it looks like they'll be trying to make a crossover towards Cat. But they do have to contest with Alter, who will be pushing this up. ZNF is sitting ready and waiting, though. But will he be ready on the angle? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, Alter catching a bullet to his skull. Will bring things down to this 3 versus 4. Mythic finally in the driver's seat, but that will be taken away as swiftly as it came. PTR quick with the op, able to find JoJo, brings it down to a 3 versus 3. And Swisher coming up through the back line could be a problem.
Now this is weird.
This is weird.
This is such a weird setup. The CTs have seeded the site almost unintentionally, and it looks like they're just kind of forcefully play a retake here. I don't know if this was planned, but they had control of long, and I think they were anticipating, you know, maybe a bit more of a push, but they're going to directly push into this.
Okay, PTR. Oh, the second shot doesn't come out, but now it's down to the 1v1. Swisher with an AUG in hand, going to be looking for this first frag. Gets the nade and the frag. Comes on out a 7th for the side of Bad News Bears.
Oh, Swisher, the disrespect, standing in the open with the AUG out. Dude, he didn't even try to, like, jiggle that around. He was just like, I'm going to stand in the open. You're not going to hit your shot, and I am going to kill you. And then he's going to spray your body. All right, you know, it's a little bit of friendly banter, I'd imagine. But, you know, Bad News Bears up 7 rounds already. Mythic looking like they're struggling a little bit here, and they've been struggling a little bit in the past couple of events through the DreamHack Open March quals. They've been in both closed qualifiers, or in the closed qualifier, they lost a couple of important matches, and they've just been kind of struggling recently. And to add to that, JoJo will go down to PTR, just playing like a shotgun with the off. Adren looking to try and trade this out, and they will.
Yeah, Adren funding that one is going to be crucial. Now it's going to be time for Mythic to try and find a round into this half. Because right now, Bad News Bears is sitting on the cusp of the 8th, which is really converting this half. They'll be only looking to expand their lead once they convert this. Once they convert an 8th. So now it's going to be played out fairly slowly, I assume. Yeah, players spread out all across the map. Bad News Bears just needs to lie and wait.
Yeah, Bad News Bears are just playing like a well-oiled machine at the moment. And right now, Mythic Reborn is just kind of faltering, trying to find those openings, but they're just losing a lot of the duels. It's not necessarily that their strats are bad at the moment, but you know, if you've got Janji hitting shots like that, you've got, you know, PTR hitting crazy, basically shotgun shots with the op. Not much you can do there, and Flom will trade over onto the op, so they will have that going into the site. They do have to contest with Spongy in the back of the site.
Push coming on out, Davey. Gonna be good for the first. Looking for another. Might be able to find it here. The shots coming out from that AUG. Especially not able to find anything just yet. They're watching their rear. A very smart play into this. They need a first round as quickly as they can. Looks like a 3 versus 3 retake will come out from the side of Bad News Bears.
Is that a door boost?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's dirty. I think Swisher was literally making fun of somebody for using that angle in his stream a couple of weeks ago, so I'm gonna make fun of him for that later.
Push coming on out, and Swisher able to find the first. Davey does trade it back down to a 2 versus 2. Flom able to find one as well. Brings it all down to Alter, who is in between a rock and a hard place. He's going to look to save this AWP over. And this will be the first round for Mythic Reborn. And the economy is all too lackluster for the side of Bad News Bears to be able to buy up once more. Partially, but not fully. This is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, they're starting to kind of cap off at the end of that win streak. They've lost a lot of players in the past couple rounds, so they will only be on they'll be on a little bit of a weaker buy. So they will have Swisher on the D, but you're still up 7-1, so it's not anything too crazy to complain about. But Mythic Reborn starting to kind of put those bricks down and try and build things up here for making this half into something salvageable. A lot of mid presence from Mythic at the moment. They haven't been contesting long a lot so far, which has been a little bit curious, considering its importance. And oh, the flash out from Alter will get 2. Beautiful. Just lining them up like ducks.
Really are. Things are looking good for the side of Bad News Bears. Flom's trying to push out towards B. 2 players do reside over here. That's going to be an issue, to be sure. And it's Spongy and Mr. John G able to find 2. Nicely done by Spongy. Shutting it down. Swisher able to find the last. And that will be the 8th. Looking and converting the half. Now only looking to expand their lead to go into their T side.
Yeah, I gotta say, even Swisher getting in on the action with a deagle at the end there kind of seems like a bit like a play date. So we will see all deagles coming out and 1 P250 for the side of Mythic, and it looks like they will be going for this long rush here. So the flashes are good. The Molotov in from John G will not prevent anybody from getting out, but the spray onto the first is good. They're starting to just kind of clean them up one by one. Flom unable to get a single person, and only what, 18 damage done?
Yeah,
Yeesh.
that's a bit unfortunate for Mythic, but Bad News Bears on the other hand are not having any bad news whatsoever, only dropping 1 round so far. We're going into the 11th. They're currently 9-1. Things are feeling really spicy for them, but something to keep in mind, guys, this is a full buy round. You've got the utility you need. It's going to be time for Mythic to try and come alive and be reborn into this matchup.
Oh, and Spongy just narrowly avoiding death there. And, it's kind of crazy because, with that, Bad News Bears economy was looking kind of rough there at the end of the last round. John G getting a good entry onto Davey and just kind of rats back out off of the mid doors. But being able to just pick up those 3 T-side AKs and just hold on to those just like completely fixed their woes. And now they can just continue to build on their economy. Mythic looking like they're going to reform themselves over towards Cat here, and all 4 players are in mid right now. Oh,
nice little play coming up, and then able to find Swisher through the smoke. A very advantageous pick. Going to trade it right back down to even. Now Adren playing with wind in his sails. Going to be able to find one onto John G, just pushing through mid. Those doors don't mean anything to him. Spongy will trade it back onto him, though, to bring it down to a 3 versus 3. Trade it back down to even. Mythic need to find another advantage.
That's crucial information. They know that, they knew that there was only 1 player in, one player on the B site, but they turned back around to try and fight that. Oh, that's just, not really the right move. And Flom's going to be killed in the Molotov. And, Flom's chest going to be, you can imagine. Your brain can create that picture. 10-1, Bad News Bears just doesn't look very difficult for them right now. Mythic, that could have been used as an opportunity. Dren getting that push onto the B site, recognizing that there's only 1 player on the B site. That's some good information, but they decide to turn around and make that mid duel happen, and in the end, that just kind of what turns that round on its head and makes it impossible for that. But Davey, good damage, good tag through the doors. I'm looking to chase. Nothing doing. Now they're sitting ducks for nades.
The push coming out, and it's misplaced aggression. Ults are going to be dealt with, but the trade from PTR is very swift onto Davey. Brings it back down to a 4 versus 4. And in the HP game, I have to say, Bad News Bears is looking better. They have quite a bit more HP than some of these players. And Dren and co. all going to be dealt with.
Swisher.
And the 11th is quickly on the board. Swisher, a nice little 3-piece there, right towards Cat. And that will convert the round.
Yeah, these executes just are super lackluster. It doesn't feel like there's any pressure from any other. So, like, this is where I feel like they're stalling out. It feels like they don't really have any pressure on any other points of the map to make Bad News Bears feel like they have to push off. And PTR will just absolutely just, oh my god. Flum will trade it back out, but we'll take not too bad molly damage, but like it's just like Mythic isn't taking enough map control for Bad News Bears to really respect their pushes. So Swisher, good for one.
Yeah, he needs to find a second here with the help of Janji. And Janji certainly will help. The quick little 2-piece coming out there. The trade on the Swisher does come from Davey, but he does lose his life. And now Flom alone in a 1v3. He has to get a 4K to his name in order to convert this round into their second. Right now, Bad News Bears is set up for a possible 12th.
Unless Flom does something insane.
I mean, Flom could do something insane.
We'll
I would like to see
see.
something insane. Ah, never mind.
Shotgun shot from PTR, and the Muffin Man has told Flom to go buy muffins elsewhere.
Oh my god.
So here we are, 12-1. Mythic only able to get one on the board, and they're going to be probably looking at just upgrading some pistols here. The answer will be yes. They'll have one Deagle, a couple of triple stack of Tech 9s, and a P250 up against Bad News Bears full buy. And dude, PTR is just absolutely disrespecting
PTR.
mid.
PTR's been looking so fantastic this entire game. So is Swisher finding one, finding two. Could find a third here if he does get pushed upon by Davey. And Alter finds one more. PTR gets a tag and deals with it with a P250. Very swiftly done. 13-1. Bad News Bears. Absolutely decimating the side of Mythic Reborn.
Yeah, I mean, it just really seems like they're just kind of giving them all of these 1v1 duels, and like you're not going to win those in that situation. So it's like the executes are lackluster, and it's just because like it comes down to them being, you know, a team that doesn't really formally practice, I think, you know, and that's just the weakness, especially when you swap a player out all of a sudden because of, you know, everything going on. Yeah, and of course we don't know how soon the team knew about that. Oh, Flom taking a heavy tag. Do they have both ops sitting on mid? They do. They have both. They're just cannoning mid here. Oh, and 2 players up Cat already.
Yeah, Switcher finds one, finds two. Looking for a third, not able to find anything. Picks himself up an AK. And retreats on back. Now Jojo and Dren, last 2 men standing. Ooh, he could find the angle there if he's lucky. And Dren's gone. Okay.
Janji's just swinging the knife, hoping to find somebody in the smoke. Nothing doing quite yet, but you're getting there.
Okay.
Oh my lord.
Oh no.
Well, maybe start talking about map 2, you know? Okay, good shot from Adren. It's one more.
Oh,
Gets
Adren.
2.
Nice.
Janji through the
Nice.
smoke.
Now he's alone in a 1 versus 2. Picks up an AK. Could possibly do this. Bypasses
Oh,
PTR. Are they right on top of each other? Oh. Yeah, PTR is going to lose his life there. Now Spongy, last man standing, doesn't want to drop a second round here. Could possibly pick up a 14th. But Adren's looking pretty good right now. He's looking pretty spicy into this round. This is the best round we've seen from him so far.
Oh.
And, oh, there he comes. A 4K for
Nice.
Adren.
All right, and that's the half. 13-2. Bad News Bears looking really good. I mean, at the end there, Spongy had like $15,000 and had an op. So, yeah. Mythic kind of got wrecked in that first half. Nothing really you can say about that more than just they just looked like they weren't ready to counter what Bad News Bears had in store for them. So we'll be going into the second half, and Mythic Reborn has their work cut out for them on the CT side. So some would argue that this map is a CT-sided map, and I would tend to agree with them there. But 13 rounds, we're going to need to see some hella good gameplay to make this happen.
Yeah, their backs are already against the wall. The second round has just begun. They're down by 11. And this scoreline is not pretty.
Well, it looks like right now that Bad News Bears is kind of playing this around like they're trying to see if the CTs are going to aggress into them. Considering the round deficit, this would make the most sense for them to try and, you know, do something risky to try and secure these rounds, but they'll kind of work their way up towards Cat here, and they do have one player out long to make sure they don't get flanked. Flashes out, and off they go on BA site. Only David can test with on the angle.
Yeah,
Site is free. Plant is free.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5 versus 5 retake coming into this now. Post plant's going to be taken up very promptly. There's going to be 3 players towards Shorts and Cat. One coming up from behind. Look at this from Mr. Who is that? That's a Janji. ZNF able to find one on the PTR. Janji able to find one and 2. Jojo will trade it back. Janji with a 3. Will be dealt with now. It's all down to Alter. Finds one. Now in a 1v1 situation against ZNF. Bomb being defused. He's going to stick it. Shots come out, but it isn't going to be close. And a round to the side of Mythic Reborn. A pistol round picked up in a third at that. Now 10 away from tying things up.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with the let's leave one on site and then was it 3 of them just pushed off towards Cat. It seemed to be their undoing there in the end of that round. Just a little bit sloppy, but you know, pistol rounds are pistol rounds, and Mythic Reborn will find themselves into a third. So it seems like they're willing to take this control on CT, but once again, there's nobody there from the T side to aggress onto long.
Oh, PTR. Could find this. Oh, gets the tag. Not the frag, unfortunately. But something to know about this is Bad News Bears have battled all the way up. They got 2 AKs. One's pretty much a glass machine gun. Will be traded back. But Jojo able to find one. Swisher finds the trade, but is dealt with and refragged. And a 3 versus 4 comes out. 2 AKs and a SSG to work with to get back into this round. Mythic, they're in the driver's seat, and they need to stay in it. Bungie gonna be able to find one. Dethrones them from that driver's seat, and now the retake's gonna have to come out here. Oh my gosh. Alter. Okay. Gonna go and grab one with the SSG. Now ZNF and Davey. Last 2 men standing. ZNF is getting into a good position here if they do try and peek out towards Short.
And Bad News Bears is playing this like it's a jungle gym right now. Just jumping up, hitting shots, like they're in a good spot here. Only 2 players and their retake positions aren't optimal. ZNF gonna try and make the swing. The flash is good for 1. The flash is good for 2. All down to Spongy.
Spongy, 1 versus 1 against Davey. Peeks on out, avoids the headshots. It finds it. Oh, Lord, what a nice little play coming out from him. A 14th picked up. Now 1 away from match point, converting the second round and breaking the economy of Mythic Reborn. AKs and SSGs going to be coming on out from Bad News Bears. Looking to put match points and possibly end up this map very quickly.
Interesting decision for Mythic to kind of full buy into this one. At least, you know, full as a force they can get. And just, you know, at this point, do what you can. Flum, he'll open it up with a good shot on the Alter. He does take a little bit of tag damage in response. So DNB flashing out the mid. Oh, and the mid aggression is stifled. And man, the flash assists. BNB is just so good with the flash assists. John's just swinging out at just absolutely the right moments. PTR looking like he's going to be good to take 1, but damage down to 6 health, and Swisher decides to turn it into a KZ server and does a little air strafe 1-tap maneuver that puts Bad News Bears onto a 15th.
Ooh. Match point. We're already here. Feels like this game just started a few minutes ago.
Well, I mean, it did. So the nice thing is that we do know that Mythic is kind of known for playing really well on their opponent's map picks. So the only issue is that they're on a losing streak on their opponent's map picks. So Flom's got to become king of banana again. We'll get a tag out onto long here, but honestly, I think this is like the first long execute we've seen all game, and Janji will get taken care of, and oh, ZNF with a great shot on the altar. Leaving 3 left on the T side. Swisher gonna clean up 1, looking to get a second, but that will be finished up by Spongy, who will go on for another, and that just leaves Flum all alone. Suddenly, after what looked like it was gonna be a good looking round for Mythic, things turn on their head, and we'll be getting ready for the next map.
Yeah, they gotta just go GG, go next at this point. Unfortunate coming out from Mythic, not able to pick up all but 3 rounds. Or was it 2 or 3? I can't remember.
3. They got 3.
They got 3? Okay, I was just making sure.
I know,
Able
it's
to
hard
pick
to
3
count to 3.
rounds, and, well, Bad News Bears absolutely annihilating them. That'll be GG for map number 1, but we got map number 2 coming up. That's going to be Inferno. And maybe we'll see Mythic Reborn be reborn like the Phoenix into this next map. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next little bits, and we'll be back soon.